guys, Arekkz here, and welcome to State of Decay 2. Last week, Xbox very kindly invited me to an event in London where I had a chance to go hands-on with the game for a good few hours, chat to some of the developers, and record some gameplay for you guys. So today, I want to share some of that with you. But I also want to use this as an opportunity to kick off something new. If you've been around this channel long enough, then you'll know that I cover a wide variety of games. And while the likes of Monster Hunter and Destiny are here to stay, I also want to begin sharing more stuff with you guys. So, from this point onwards, we're going to have a game of the month. Essentially, something else we can bring to the channel, share with you guys, make videos on, stuff like general information, interviews, gameplay, anything like that. And since I've had a chance to play a good deal of State of Decay 2, then that is going to be this month's game. So expect a good few videos over the next few weeks. The first of which is going to be this video here, a new series called The Pitch. Basically, whenever I go to events and I have a chance to play the game, learn about it, speak to developers, I usually gather all the information, come back and make a video telling you guys about it. But in times where I have access to developers, it makes far more sense for me to speak directly to them and then have them tell you about their game. I mean, they've been making it, they've been working on it, they know much more about it, so the pitch is essentially their chance to speak directly to you guys. So for this one, I had a chance to sit down with Richard Foge, who is the design director at UNDEAD Labs, working on State of Decay 2, so without further ado, let's find out more about the game.
Never do get used to this.
So to begin with, assuming I've never played State of Decay before and I'm coming in completely fresh, then what exactly is State of Decay?
State of Decay is the ultimate zombie apocalypse survival fantasy game where you control a community of survivors. You're responsible for their destiny, and as you explore a dynamic narrative that is the story that you create with this community as you play the game.
And if I've played other zombie survival games before, what does State of Decay offer that other games within this space don't?
So instead of controlling an individual, you control an entire community of survivors who have disparate needs and desires and different focuses that they want to work on. And you're responsible for that entire group, and you're managing a base. You're dealing with a simulation where resources are required to kind of keep these people alive and sustain them, and the base also requires resources to upgrade as you build yourself up to try to sustain yourself against a zombie apocalypse.
So this is the second installment in the series, but what are some of the main differences if you're coming over from the first game?
Right, so first and foremost, we now have 4-player co-op cross-platform multiplayer, which is a big change from the first game, because in the first game you were on your own, surviving on your own. Now you can invite your friends in, hopefully to help you out and not screw you up too much. But as you may have experienced, sometimes it doesn't go the way it doesn't go according to plan.
Now, assuming that I've never played State of Decay before, can I jump straight into number 2, or is there anything I need to know or have experienced beforehand?
You can absolutely jump straight into this game. We structured it so that you didn't have to have a deep knowledge of the events of the first game or any storyline specific stuff. There are no characters that you're going to be like, oh, who is this showing up? It's all about this group of survivors that you will be with from the beginning, and their unfolding story that, again, it's driven by you. It's your choices that shape the story of this community.
And if I am jumping in for the first time as a new player, what are a couple of things that you would recommend I do to get started?
Get a feel for your base, build up your base initially, use the radio menu a lot to find resources. Up on your D-pad, I think the R button, no, it's something else. You'll find the button on PC if you need it. But open up that radio menu. There are a lot of options in there for finding specific resources if you're running low on those. Use the base screen to figure out what your needs are right now for your community. Your community will let you know what's going on. They'll tell you what their immediate pressures are, but you can also dive deep on any one of the resource information screens on the base menu to get more information about what you need for your community. If you're short on food, if your morale is really low, you can get a lot of information through those screens.
Now, if we flip that on its head, let's say I'm a die-hard State of Decay fan. I've played the first one, sunk hundreds of hours into it. What are, say, 3 things that I'm definitely going to want to check out in number 2?
You're definitely going to want to check out multiplayer. The new base and facility building options are a big deal. If you're used to what we had in the original State of Decay, we've added a lot more ways to interact with the base, a lot more customization options, and things that you can do with the your facilities that weren't available before, like crafting mods for your facilities and other interactions that will make your life a lot easier. Community management screen will also give you a lot more information about what's going on with your survivors, and give you sort of better access to specialization options that were there in the first game, but now you can actually get at them quite a bit better. Play carts are going to be pretty scary for you if you're coming from the first game. There was nothing like that in the first game. They're hard to deal with. Be prepared before you go into one of those fights, and they're going to get harder as you go.
And this one is for the collectors out there, but are there going to be any hidden Easter eggs for people to discover?
There's some stuff that there's some callbacks to the first game that'll show up as you go, and there's definitely areas where you'll be rewarded for exploring, finding sort of some hidden caches of special things that are tucked around the various maps that are worth looking for.
Now, going on my hands-on time today, there's quite a few new specialization options for your community members. How deep does this go?
It doesn't go super deep because again, you're controlling a community of survivors. So since if you were focused on one individual person, it would feel probably pretty shallow. But the fact that you're building up an entire group of survivors, we wanted to make sure that the differences were tangible, but not so radical that like it made a survivor play completely differently from somebody else. Because then when you end up switching, you're going to be a little bit lost. So we have a little bit of that, but because of the fact that you can switch between different survivors, there's a depth there where you can try different combinations of different things on different people.
Alright, so multiplayer is a big new component of State of Decay 2. You jump into someone else's world and play with them. But how does that work? What can I bring with me? What can I learn? What do I have to lose? Can you tell us a bit more about that?
So you bring one of your survivors into their game with all of the equipment that they have on them. Once you're in your friend's game, you'll have access to your supply locker, so you can change out your equipment. You can also change your survivors at any point when you're at a place where you would normally be able to switch survivors. That's an outpost or at a base. Once you're in the game, we add in new containers of resources, so you're not taking anything away from the host who you're going and joining. So there's new resources for you to find, and anything that you collect as that survivor, you can then either put in your supply locker, send it immediately back to your base, or anything you have on you when you go back into your game, that goes back to your game with you. You're obviously increasing your skills, so you can be specializing your survivors, and there are also specific multiplayer rewards that you will get when you get back to your community.
And knowing that I bring my own survivor into someone else's world,
Yeah.
if I die in their world,
Oh yeah.
is that still gone permanently as well?
Oh yeah. When you die in the Matrix, you die in real life.
Oh no. Okay, all right. So I have to be careful then.
Oh yeah. You have to be careful.
Okay.
Alright, well, thank you very much for taking the time to chat to me. Do you have any final messages you'd like to share with the community ahead of the game's launch?
I'm looking forward to everybody jumping into State of Decay 2. I can't wait. Hopefully, I end up playing multiplayer with some of you guys at some point in the future, either using the multiplayer systems that we have in the game. Check it out and enjoy yourselves. Have a great time.